Stuart, I've heard you talk before about how you put energy into one place and it comes out in another sometimes. So you like pour your energy into one project, but the way the energy comes back to you might come from a different direction. Can you talk about that, please?
Well, I'm not exactly clear what you're asking.
Well, sometimes you put a lot of effort into, say, career development or something, and instead of getting that dream job or that dream project done, that door gets slammed shut, and then but something else opens up, and the energy comes from a different place. Can you talk about that?
Well, I mean, the worst thing is stagnation. The worst thing is allowing your energy to just become like a stagnant pool of water. If you're investing energy in an area that you're getting no return, then you got to be smart enough to say, okay, I got to stop this. I'm not going to waste this any more of this energy on that. And I'm always, when you have ambition to grow spiritually or to grow in your life, when a door closes, another one always opens. Always. Then you have to be smart enough to be able to recognize where the open door is and make a choice. I mean, there's no sense beating a dead horse. It's not going to take you anywhere. But there's a lot of sense when that door opens to choose to truly, put energy into that path so that you can grow in your life. I mean, I know, look, when I was younger, I had teachers up the kazoo. I went to swamis and yogis, and just about every one of them was a dead end. They really didn't, other than, having titles and having some position of power, they never really taught me anything about my spiritual practice. And the day I met Rudy, when I walked in the store, Rudy's store, it was like, I was just like attracted to him like a magnet. And I initially thought, my God, what an accidental thing took place. And I realized, Stuart, no, there are no accidents. You are ready to do what this man has to teach you. And just one meeting told me that. And I remember walking with my friend, we were going out to have dinner, and I said, I don't know what happened in that gallery, but I've got to go back and see that man again. And then to be reminded, we went back to his apartment, went up the stairs, and a mutual tenant in the building invited us in for tea. I mean, I knew the guy. I had been living in that building for a long time. And I just got back from Europe. I was living there again, literally sleeping on the floor of this friend of mine's apartment. I had no money. And he invited us into his apartment. It was a guy named Ed Borden. Invited us into his apartment. And the guy in this tenement building with a bathtub in the kitchen, the toilet in the hallway, had literally about a $500,000 collection of Oriental art. And I looked around me and I said, where did you get this stuff? He said, well, there's a guy in Greenwich Village named Rudy who runs a gallery, who I happened to meet an hour before. There are no accidents. And when you're ready for something, a teacher will manifest. And then it's up to a person to be smart enough to take advantage of what that teacher can give you. And I knew when I met Rudy, where am I going to meet another Rudy? And do you think it was easy? I mean, overcoming Stuart in order to learn what this remarkable teacher had to teach? The hardest job I ever had in my life. And I must have wanted to run away from it at least 100 times. What am I doing here? Who needs this? It's crazy. It's too much. But where are you going to find another Rudy? Where are you going to find somebody who really is committed to their spiritual growth and is willing to make room for you in their life to grow spiritually? So there are no accidents. And when these things open up, you got to take advantage of them. And all the excuses are just bullshit, you know? One day we just dropped dead, you know? And we were given all these opportunities to grow spiritually. Oh, I had this, I had that, I couldn't do it, my toe hurt, it's just nonsense, you know? Instead of look what the universe has made available to me. Same thing with jobs, with family, with relationships. When they become sacred, when they become something that is not accidental and is no longer a pain in the ass, and they're really teaching you about your own life and how you have to grow, it's something very special that can help you attain a state of spiritual enlightenment. And there's always, if you're growing in yourself, a door closes, another one's going to open. Then you just got to be smart enough to make the choice. I mean, I had that today, with somebody. It was really amazing. And it's just the way the world works. We have to be smart enough to recognize what the universe is giving us. Instead of, well, I got a date, I got a this, I'm taking it for granted, never really committing to it, never contributing anything to it, thinking that it's just something I'll do, just bullshit. All you do is promote another 25 reincarnations. You have to go through this another 25 times, it's nonsense. So that's what I'm talking about, Jenna, taking advantage of what the universe puts in your life, recognizing what you can do in order to grow in your life by what has been given to you. And it wasn't only Rudy that was given, it was Nityananda, it was a whole school of teachings that came down that made it possible for me to be doing what I'm doing today, to have just written this book I just wrote. My God, what one can give, how one can contribute, how one can support this. I mean, I used to clean out toilets in Rudy's house when I was living there, making sure the second floor was kept clean. Plus working at a business I was running and teaching hatha yoga, teaching Kundalini yoga, his meditation. I mean, I had so much going on. I had never anything like that going on in my life. And I said, Stuart, it's just teaching you about you, what you're capable of doing. Don't complain, just do it. I complained once to Rudy. I told you that story about the weed growing in a crack had more courage than me. When I complained to him once about not having a place to sleep. And we're very good at procrastination. We're very not good at committing to what really works for us. But we're masters at procrastination. And when you commit to what works for you, doors are opening constantly for you to take advantage of. And as you grow in yourself, you're capable of making more intelligent choices about what you want to do with your life. And nothing is negative. Everything is how can I use this to grow in my life? That is the way you should approach everything. How can I use this to grow in my life? How can I use the door that just slammed in my face? Not as a reason to get upset and angry and depressed. What can I do to grow because of this? As soon as you make that decision, a door will open. It's just too easy to blame the objective world for your problems. There's so much wrong in the objective world. And the reason there's so much wrong in the objective world, there's so much wrong inside of people. You know, the objective world, the world we see, the economics, the politics, the relationships, families, all of that drama, all of that soap opera is a reflection of what goes on inside every human being. If people would learn to live with their hearts open, all of that drama would stop. That's what it's teaching us. Learn to live with your heart open, not to complain about something that there's nothing you can do about anyway. And then a door closes, another one opens. God takes care of you, you know. I remember years ago when I was living in Denton, I was running this junk antique store, selling, stuff, Americana stuff from the early 20th century. And I remember this, I had a bunch of students that were all going to make a trip to go see Rudy. I'll never forget this. And we were going to go up in a van and drive across the United States from Texas to New York. We needed to chip in $40 a piece in order to do this. I didn't have $40, and I was the head of the ashram. I didn't have $40 to my name. It's really true. And I'll never forget, I walked out on the porch that morning, not knowing what to do. And a guy comes to me and said, Stuart, I know you're going away today. And there's this table on your lawn here that I really love, and I've been wanting to buy it. That table cost $40. I mean, it's a true story. We left for New York 2 hours later. The table cost $40. I sold it. He gave me two $20 bills. I gave it to the person driving the car. We went to New York, went to see Rudy. So I hope it's clear what I'm talking about. When you commit to serve God, you will be taken care of. You will be taken care of, and you're not going to be afraid to live your life. The fear we have of living our life comes because we're not committed to a higher force in the universe. That's where our world comes from. I hope that's clear, Jen. I don't know if I answered your question. Long answer. I got your question in there too. Does anyone else have a question they would like to? Is it clear? I mean, this is not for Jennifer, it's for everybody. Everybody. That fear is just one's lack of connection to spirit. And I could tell you situations I involved myself in, just crazy. If I thought about them for 5 seconds, I would Stuart, you're out of your mind. Things that I did in my life. And the doors open to make it possible for those things to work. Does anyone else have a question?
Hello. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Aileen. How are you?
You know, listening to you, I feel I
Eileen,
feel
Eileen,
really
Eileen,
grateful.
I can barely make out what you're saying, so you have to speak clearly.
Okay. I feel really grateful about everything that happened in my life. I feel really grateful. I don't regret anything, you know? But at the same time, everything feels new in my life. You know, like a baby, everything new. I got everything I wanted right now. When you have everything that you want right now and everything feels new, how can you maintain yourself centered, you know, like grounded?
Look, trust me, Aileen, you don't have everything you want in your life. You wouldn't be living here on the earth if you had everything you wanted in your life. You've attained a certain level. Now, that level, honestly, it comes and it goes. But that level is just footing for you to take the next step in your life and the next step in your life. And to, it's like I remember Rudy saying, it's like being in an elevator in a department store, this elevator that we're on when we do these classes, it goes infinitely into the universe. There's no limitation, but you can get off on the fourth floor and shop for relationships, for love, for, partners, for whatever, and say, oh, that's what I want in my life. I got everything. Meanwhile, there's infinite amount of growth that can take place in your life. And you're accepting a level as being the ultimate that you're going to attain. Now, I can promise you that whatever happens in life gets old. It's new when it happens and with joyous and it gets old. And if you use it to grow and to get to the next level, it never gets old. It never gets old. You're always breaking yourself down, going to the new level in your life and learning how to do this consciously so that you never reach an end. I mean, God has no limitation. Spirit has no limitation. Only human beings in their mind find limitation when we accept something as the ultimate that we can do in the world. So you're here to learn probably one of the most important things I have to teach, how to break yourself down, how not to accept anything as the ultimate thing that you can attain in your life, how to be grateful for the gifts that are given to you, but recognize, it's like I always, that guy, Chris Rock, I'll never forget when I heard him say that. He said, when you first meet somebody and you fall in love with them, he said, you don't meet them, you meet their agent. You only meet them about a year or two later, you find out who you fell in love with. You understand? So all the newness is like the agent. And a year or two goes by, you find out what it's really all about. You keep growing, and it's always a renewal and a renewal, and it's always fresh and fresh, something new. But in order to attain something new, you got to break down the level that you're living on. And never accept it as I got everything I ever wanted. Yeah, forget it. In 2 years, you're going to be miserable if you don't continue to grow. You understand what I'm talking about? So look,
Yes, I feel, you know, I feel I really understand what you're saying because I know I feel that I can I just feel really grateful, you know?
good,
I just
good, but don't stop growing, dear. Feel really grateful. But look, I've been doing this a lot longer than you, and every day something new comes to my life, every single day. And I'm grateful for all the things I've attained in my life. I mean, a new book, a new this, something happened today that, it's always something. And all of it brings freshness to my life. Nothing gets old. And it enables me to, you know, uh, love the things in my life even more. because there's always something new coming, something fresh. So be grateful. And, and let the gratitude show in what you give to life, what you do for people, how you contribute to the world. And, it's a very good way of saying thank you, what you contribute to life. Is it clear what I'm talking about here?
Yes.
Does anyone else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Continue to grow. You've grown very much in your life, and it's a joy to me to see how far. I mean, when you first came here, you were a little frightened girl, and you changed. There's something strong in you and really developed in you, and that really makes me feel very happy to see you like that. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay, there'll be no meditation on Sunday. I keep telling you there's a retreat. People are starting to come already for the retreat this weekend. There will be a class tomorrow and tomorrow evening. And Jennifer will teach the 7:30 class tomorrow, and I'll teach the class at 1 o'clock tomorrow. God bless you all. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing everybody soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
It's a beautiful class.